kids are watching Aquanauts. I'm here in the kitchen and I'm going to brew some pour over Chemex coffee as I'm getting ready for a coffee tasting this weekend for a potential wholesale client, and I want to know what the coffee is going to taste like before I put myself in that position. Hopefully my coffee is good enough. So we're going to start with this Sumatra. This is a dark roast. I roasted it a couple days ago on the 13th, so it's actually been 5 days. This is a full city roast, not quite second crack. Sumatra to me usually has earthy tones, so there could be some sweetness and a little bit of tartness. Bittersweet roast tones, malted grain, smoky peat, baking, cocoa finish. So this should taste exactly like what I think a Sumatra should taste like. I wish everyone could see the cat audience that I have with the photo of a cat. That is so funny.
That is so funny. While you're doing that.
That's my audience.
That's awesome.
I love it. I'm going to do 25 grams of coffee and 400 grams or milliliters of water in the Chemex. This is a darker roast, so I want to adjust my grind a little bit coarser than I would for a lighter roast to try to compensate for the bean density and get an extraction of 3.5 minutes in the Chemex. First things first, we heat up the kettle, and I'm going to pre-wet the paper filter. This is a Chemex paper filter, tri-folded, and what you do, if you're new to Chemex, is you take the thick side and you set it at the spout of the Chemex and the thin side at the back. The reason you do this is this Chemex can get choked as the weight of the water pushes the paper against the glass. So you want the stronger side to be supported at the spout so that there's a gap of air that allows the water to continually flow. So I'm just going to wet my filter. I have preheated the water to 203 degrees Fahrenheit. Now let's make our grind. I'm using a first generation Fellow Ode grinder with the SSP burr upgrade, and that has made a big difference when it comes to light roast coffee. I couldn't really do light roast all the way at 1, even for 25 grams of coffee. So I have the grinder set at level 5, and I'm a little bit worried that that will be too coarse, but we're going to take our chances. One of the worst parts about the Fellow Ode is that it is a messy grinder. So let's see how much coffee I got out. So out of the grinder, I yielded 23 grams of coffee. So I'm going to put in 46 grams of water for the bloom. So dark roast coffee have big obvious blooms when you have freshly roasted coffee, so it's pretty fun to watch. And after the water has bloomed the coffee for about 30 seconds, we're going to do our first pour. Since the water went down about 1/2 inch, I am doing my second pour and final pour, and I'm going to go to 400 grams or milliliters of water, which is a ratio of roughly 16 to 1. 16 grams of water for every gram of coffee. And I'm aiming for a brew time of 3.5 minutes. And I think we're going to get closer to 3 minutes. But here we are. It's done dripping at 3 minutes and 10 seconds. So Since that coffee is really hot, I'm going to go ahead and prep the next batch of coffee. Next, I'm going to compare it to a City Plus roast of a Peruvian Swiss water process decaf coffee. This is not roasted dark, so we should be really tasting those light green tea, matcha, banana type notes, and excited to try that. So immediately smelling this, it smells like a Sumatran coffee. It really has that earthy, roasty smell and taste. For people getting into specialty coffee, Sumatra is going to taste closer to what you get from Starbucks or Pete's or anything that you buy at the store. That's darkly roasted and just more familiar. This is going to cut really well with milk and sugar and will feel a lot more familiar. Specialty coffee for new drinkers can be shocking and make you feel like you're not drinking coffee. And so this might be a good place to start for a lot of people. It's not too hot. And it has a really nice like a baking cocoa, like really dark chocolate flavor, but also those earth and roasted notes that might be the most familiar to dark coffee drinkers. It's not harsh. It's actually quite pleasant. So I'm going to put this aside while we drink the next cup. So this Peru Swiss water process decaf is a City Plus roast, so it's much lighter than the Sumatran roast. So this bloom was much more tame and mild than the last one, but still the coffee's very fresh, so you can definitely see the bloom. So at my second pour, I tend to like to agitate the coffee and water together so that all the grounds at the wall of the paper kind of get mixed in with the water and settle at the bottom of the bed. That way there's the most extraction possible. So the Peruvian coffee brewed in about 4 minutes. So I've adjusted the grind to be a little bit less fine this time, more coarse, so that I can reduce the extraction time. So this has a much more light tea-like flavor, a lot more sweetness. And I'd like to compare it to the Sumatra really quick, even though it's already cool. Wow. A lot more sweetness. That baking chocolate is really, really present. Night and day, two completely different cups of coffee. This has a much more, I don't want to say herbal tea, but a green tea, like a light bitterness, like a tea flavor. It's totally different. Much darker than tea, but it's very, very present. Now we're going to move on to an Ethiopian dry process Yirgacheffe that is maybe the best coffee that I've ever roasted. It's so strongly blueberry and juicy and thick. It's amazing. I wish smell-o-vision worked because it's incredible that this smells like blueberries. Oh, it's the best. It's the best coffee I've ever smelled. Do 50 grams or milliliters of water for the bloom. The steam of the kettle just burnt my finger a lot. So my first pour, I went from 50 milliliters of water to 250 milliliters of water. I'm going to let that go down about a half inch, and then I will pour the rest of it. So this brewed in 3 minutes and 45 seconds. 15 seconds isn't really going to make the difference between a good and a bad cup of coffee. Yeah, on the back. But the light, like there's this obvious, I'm drinking coffee, and then there's this, why am I tasting blueberries? Isn't that what you're supposed to do? I burnt my tongue. Wasn't that cool? Compared to the Peru? It's like unbelievably different. Wow. So right now we have fruity, blueberry, and the Ethiopian Yirgacheffe. This Peruvian decaf is sweeter and has like a green tea type of matcha taste. And the Sumatra is very earthy, baking chocolate, and also very good. Unbelievably different, all three of these. Now I'm going to move to a Guatemala. This will be my last one. What I didn't mention is that this is also a full city coffee, so I think it's more of a medium roast, whereas the Sumatra was closer to a dark roast. I don't remember, who am I kidding? 3 minutes and 30 seconds exactly. When I serve chemex, I like to give it a swirl because in my brain, the early extracted coffee is at the bottom and the newer extracted coffee is at the top, or some sort of layer system. That was weird. Some sort of layer system, so I like to mix it up so it's consistent for anybody who drinks it. Right away, oh, it's almost like cookies. This might be the most familiar and easy to offer option. So this is a Guatemalan, and this seems like the middle. Like you have kind of bitter and earthy tea, blueberries, and then you just have coffee. Maybe this tastes the most like what you would anticipate a cup tasting, but without any of that harsh bitterness like you get from a Keurig. Just like really easy to drink and smooth. There's not sweetness that's like, this isn't coffee, and there's not bitterness like, oh, this is, brewed wrong. It's just so even. There's not a lot of distinct flavors, I would say. I'm not getting that tart crispness of an apple or anything like that, but as it cools down, maybe I will. Hey, Kendra.
What?
I brewed 4 coffees.
Oh my gosh.
They're all different. Mm-hmm. One of them's decaf, so that's good. Mm-hmm. That's cool. Okay, I remember what all of them are, except I might have forgotten which one is which over here.
Oh, okay.
So
you want me to see what I think?
Yeah.
Okay. So
four coffees.
Okay.
All from around the globe. I just want your
Okay.
take. They're all
Are they
cool
iced?
now. No, they're not iced, but they're not hot.
Okay.
Okay, this one's the warmest, and
Okay, let's see.
You wanna start
Do you remember
there?
which one this is?
I do.
It's good.
What do you think? What comes to your mind? Anything?
Guatemala. I'm just kidding.
And that's what it is. It's Guatemala.
What?
Yeah.
Oh my
That's
gosh.
our
Okay.
handshake. We've done that forever. But hold on, before
Sorry.
you go on to that next one. Tell me more about it. Don't just say Guatemala.
I don't remember the terms, but that's a good one.
Well, tell me what it feels like. Well, maybe you can taste the next one and then tell me.
Well, anyway, that's what I usually like, I think.
Yes,
Right?
I agree.
Yeah.
I do agree with that.
That's a tea-like one.
Tea-like?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think. It's not very acidic though for a light.
It is light.
Is it?
It is a light, and it is tea-like. I agree.
I'm good at this.
You are good.
Oh yeah, it's deeper. Cherry.
Oh, so fruit.
Yeah. Probably.
Fruity.
It's deeper. Yeah.
Yeah?
Dark.
No, it's
It's not
lighter.
dark.
But
It's not dark, but it's like a deeper
okay.
resonance. Yeah. That one is lukewarm, so it's hard to really get that.
No, that's when you'll really.
Is this a decaf?
No.
No.
I got scratch cards on the iPad.
Oh! He's so excited. I don't know. This one's confusing.
Okay, if I say, this one is a dark
I don't know.
roast.
Yeah.
Okay, earthy.
Okay. Yeah.
Do you see earthy here?
Yeah. I think that's probably like a well-rounded. Lots of people probably would like that one. Like your average consumer probably likes that one, of course.
Yeah, this one is the best for everybody.
Yeah.
Okay, but hold on now. So give one word for each. Taste them again though, because
I can't
just
have
a
this much
sip.
caffeine at night.
It's not. It's a sip. Look how big the cup is.
A word?
One word or feel. What does it feel? How does it feel different?
Well-rounded.
Okay. Is there a flavor?
Coffee, but yeah.
Coffee. Yeah, this is the coffee one.
Coffee
Got
flavor.
it.
I know. Yeah, fruit. Is this the fruit one? The other one was the fruit one. That one's tea, light. Maybe more.
This is like matcha.
Yeah, I was thinking like it almost has a green.
Yeah, green tea.
Yeah,
Isn't that
maybe.
weird?
Cool.
This is decaf. Pretty sure.
Okay, good.
Blueberries.
Yeah, that one's blueberry. Oh yeah, blueberry. Yeah.
Right?
Yep. Mhm.
But like obviously fruit.
Definitely fruit. Yeah, I guess I couldn't put my finger on it, but yeah, blueberry.
Smell it too.
Yeah, when you say it.
Isn't that crazy?
Oh.
And then that one's like earth and dirt.
It's because it's also really cold, like it's room temperature, so it's not very fun to drink that.
Yeah.
But if it was hot, I might be like, oh, that's pretty good too.
Good with milk.
Yeah,
This is like universal
I think so.
coffee. Everyone's gonna go, oh, this is a good cup of coffee. They might not say anything about it, but it's not gross.
No,
like
it's
a
not.
Keurig.
Yeah, for
It's
sure.
like
No,
a
Keurig's
good
gross.
cup of coffee. This is an everyday cup of
Mhm.
coffee. So this is Guatemala, Peru, decaf, Ethiopian, Sumatra.
Oh, okay. I used to drink that.
I know.
Yeah.
We've come so far.
Cool, thanks.
Well, thank you.
You're
Your words were similar to my words.
Interesting.
She was listening.
No, I wasn't. That's funny, because I really wasn't.
I know. Well, we're gonna make Dino buddies now. Dino buddies, and that's it. So thanks for hanging out.
It's like the
Which
first
one was your
time in a
favorite,
long
Reed?
time.
The heaviest.
You like the Guatemala.